Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Inside the Inferno. I'm Ashlyn Register. Alongside me is Nick Zeller-Sig. Nick, how have you been?
Oh, Ashlyn, I am excited to have you back as my partner for another semester here at Inside the Inferno, as we have a lot to talk about for ASU sports today, including ASU football's upcoming matchup with UNLV. But let's begin with a look back at last week's game against Southern Utah.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to break down the top takeaways from Arizona State's first football game this season. Last Thursday, Arizona State hosted the Southern Utah Thunderbirds for the home opener, winning the game easily 41-14. The first storyline is that the defense showed up and showed out, securing 4 takeaways, including 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. The defense took over the game early, intercepting Southern Utah quarterback Justin Miller on the 3rd play of the game. These early turnovers led to quick and easy scores for the Sun Devils, who had a 20-7 lead at halftime. The rushing attack was another huge story of this game. The Sun Devils scored all 6 touchdowns on the ground, 5 of which when Jaden Daniels was running the offense. The final takeaway of the game was that star quarterback Jaden Daniels had a smaller impact than normal. Daniels was incredibly efficient, though, completing 10 of his 12 passes for 132 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. Jaden Daniels came into the season as a potential Heisman candidate as one of the top quarterbacks of the 2022 draft class. He was taken out of the game at the end of the 3rd quarter when the Sun Devils had a 34-7 lead. The Sun Devils face the UNLV Running Rebels at home this Saturday at 7:30 for the second game of the season. That's all I have for you today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Tyler. Now let's toss it over to Ryan Blank, who has what you need to know about this week's ASU football matchup against UNLV.
The 23rd ranked Arizona State Sun Devils are back in action this Saturday on their home turf as they take on the UNLV Running Rebels. This week's matchup will only mark the second time ever that these two schools have met. UNLV won the lone matchup back in 2008. While the Sun Devils started last week with a win, UNLV lost to FCS opponent Eastern Washington in double overtime. The Running Rebels are still looking for their first win with second-year head coach Marcus Arroyo. Expect the Sun Devils running backs to continue their dominance. Rashad White and Chip Trayanum and company should have a big week against this UNLV defense that surrendered over 250 rushing yards per game last season. Quarterback Jaden Daniels is primed for a huge game as well. The Running Rebels defense surrendered over 370 yards through the air against Eastern Washington. As for the defense, in the past 12 games, the Sun Devil defense has forced 38 turnovers, which is the most in the nation over that span. Additionally, under head coach Herm Edwards, the defense has held opposing offenses to under 30 points in 21 of 31 games. The guy to watch on that Running Rebel offense is star running back Charles Williams. Against the Eagles, he rushed for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. If ASU can contain the run, make it hard for Williams by stacking the box, it'll be a tough offensive game for the Running Rebels. Last week, Arizona State struggled with penalties. They were flagged 13 times for 135 yards in the first half. This week, they look for a more disciplined game from Edwards' squad. With a win Saturday, the Sun Devils will improve to 7-1 in non-conference games under Edwards. Back to you guys at the desk.
From the football field to the sports books, Arizona legalized sports betting on September 9th. Now let's bring in Inferno betting analyst Daniel Triana, who has more on what that looks like across the valley. Daniel, with the new Arizona gambling laws, how can exactly one place a bet?
Yeah, Nick, users can now place a bet from one of the 20-plus legal gambling apps that Arizona has allowed.
I've been seeing a lot of offers and apps throughout the valley. What are some of the best ones to sign up for?
For example, the Caesar Sportsbook is offering a $5,000 bet free on their first bet. So that means if a user places $100 and loses, the Caesar Sportsbook will reimburse them. Also, the Barstool Sportsbook is offering 4 free $100 bets when you deposit $100 into your account.
And finally, with an ASU football game coming up, I'm sure there'll be a lot of money flying around. What are those odds looking like, and what are you seeing as the smart plays?
ASU is 0-1 against the spread this year. The spread for this game is Arizona's favorited 34 points, and the over and under is 54. I think the play is over 54. I would look for Arizona State's offense to score a lot of points against UNLV's defense.
Thanks, Daniel. We'll have more from him throughout the year. Now let's head over to Dylan Pescatore for an update on ASU soccer.
Thank you, Nick. I'm Dylan Pescatore here to talk all about ASU soccer. Since last week, the team has gone 1-1. On Sunday, the LSU Tigers took it to the Sun Devils. They scored 5 goals, which was the total amount that ASU gave up in their first 5 games combined. However, Arizona State moved on from the loss very quickly and beat Nebraska 1-0 on Thursday night. The lone goal came from guess who? Nicole Douglas. She now has 7 goals on the year, and goalie Berta Goodlags recorded her second shutout of the season. She continued her dominant freshman campaign. Texas Tech is up next on the schedule for ASU, and they will match up with the Red Raiders on Sunday morning. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Dylan. Now I'm joined by Connor McGill for a look at this week's headlines.
Thank you so much for having me on today, Ashlyn. Where do I even begin? I think that we got to begin with the ASU football team. And this week they came out with a new helmet design, and there's just so much shine to this helmet. I think I just have to bust out the shades. Of course, my Gucci shades.
I wish I had Gucci shades.
Yeah, so ASU football looking very good this season, especially right here. They're definitely styling every single week. The number 23 ranked ASU football team comes into Saturday's game 1-0 on the season as they take on the UNLV Rebels. We'll see what happens.
I think the shine may get to the Rebels.
I think so. I think it's definitely going to be a blind spot for those on the line. Anyways, moving on to our next headline, we see Arizona State hockey freshman Josh Doan giving Arizona Coyotes fans their first look of Doan in a hockey jersey after he was drafted in the 5th round of the NHL draft. If you know anything about NHL hockey, you know he is following in the footsteps of his dad, Shane Doan, who was a tremendous hockey player for the Yotes. So I gotta say, very excited to see Josh Doan, develop with this ASU hockey team in the upcoming season.
It should be a really, really good chance for him, and I think that if he's following his dad's footsteps, then ASU really has nothing to lose.
Like father, like son, as they say. And, wrapping things all up here at Headlines, I got to give some love to the ASU women's lacrosse team for this creative piece of content, a fun rock, paper, scissors game. And Ashlyn, I think we got to bust out a game right here. And I've been kind of warming up for this, so I'm really hoping I can get the dub today.
I'm ready.
Okay, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, man. Well, I guess we got our Inferno Intel rock, paper, scissors champ right here, Ashton Register. Anyways, I guess I'm going to have to ask Olivia Hood of the ASU women's lacrosse team for tips. So, Olivia, if you're watching, I need some tips here. I might have to go down to the lacrosse fields to see if you can maybe give me some tips. Anyways, that's going to be it for Headlines. Another exciting week of ASU athletics.
Yeah, thank you so much, Connor. Now let's head over to Sam Valenti for Sam's Sun Devil Update.
Hey there, Sun Devils. This is Sam Valenti here with today's Sun Devil Update. Today, we'll be talking about ASU Triathlon, who competed for the first time in 2 years last Saturday. And boy, they did not disappoint. The Sun Devils swept the podium at the Pleasant Prairie National Qualifier. Now, not only did ASU sweep the podium, but they placed 5 athletes in the top 7. Hannah Henry got first place, while Kyla Roy and Liberty Ricka took second and third place respectively. Amber Schlebusch finished in 5th place, and Kira Stanley capped off the top 7. With the outstanding performance, the Sun Devils qualified for the Women's Collegiate National Championship, which will take place in November in beautiful Tempe, Arizona. After a long hiatus, it is great to see the triathlon team back in action and performing at a very high level. Well, that is all I got for you today, Sun Devils. Now, back to you, anchors.
Thanks, Sam. Fall sports are back in full swing, including ASU men's and women's golf. Our reporter Griffin Greenberg has more on what to expect in this upcoming season for the Sun Devils.
ASU golf is back. The ASU men's and women's golf team will be traveling all over the country this season, playing top competition. The men's golf team looks to build off their previous impressive seasons, but the loss of Kevin Yu, who recently turned pro, could make it a bit more difficult. Nonetheless, expect ASU men's golf to still have a great year, led by junior stars David Puig and Riggs Johnston, who finished 19th and 21st in the nation last season according to GolfStat. Those two are also on the preseason watch list for the Haskins Award by Golf Week. The team's star-studded lineup also includes senior Cameron Sisk and a 5th-year student, Mason Anderson, who are also in the top 100 players in the country. Last season, ASU's team came up just short in the NCAA championship tournament, but this year's 3rd-ranked Sun Devils squad looks to change that outcome. Over on the women's side, the talent does not diminish. But like the men's team, the women are looking to build off key departures. Olivia Mahaffey and Lynn Grant both turned pro recently. The returners will look to make up for those departures. Senior Alexandra Fosterling missed some time due to injury last season, but she's back and is ranked 30th in the nation on Golf Channel's preseason rankings. Ashley Menny comes in ranked 36 after an incredible freshman season earlier this year, where she finished the season ranked 6th in the nation according to GolfStat. Keep in mind, she was only a freshman. Alessandra Finale and Amanda Linner are also back, and the Sun Devils added Kaylin Rothschild, one of the best incoming freshmen in the nation. ASU's team comes in ranked at number 11 in the nation. Both of these teams kick off their seasons next week, as the men will travel to Texas for the Merido Collegiate Invitational, which starts on the 13th, and then to Illinois just days later. The women's team, on the other hand, starts their season in Minnesota on the 13th, and then travels to Ohio weeks later. With collegiate golf having a fall and spring season, and both ASU's teams looking very strong, watch out, because we could very well see ASU men's and women's golf running late into spring, and both teams could have a chance to compete to win the NCAA championship once again right here in Arizona.
That will do it today for Inside the Inferno. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram and Twitter at Inferno Intel.
And read up on all our content at infernointel.com. Thanks for watching.